Halloween, and welcome to something we have not done in a while. It is the Popcorn Confessional streaming news, where every week this month during the 31 days of Halloween, we are going to go over the horror movies that are coming out in theaters and are streaming. Now, some of the movies that are streaming, we'll have it displayed while we're talking about that film. The ones that we can't find anywhere at the time of editing this video, I would suggest going to download the app JustWatch. I know it's good for Androids. I don't know about iPhones. Okay. I've been using the app for 10 years. They don't sponsor the video or anything like that. Anytime that I'm looking for a movie anywhere, I look at that app. It tells me if it's free, if it's a subscription, if I have to rent it. It tells me if it's in the standard def, HD, or 4K, and it even says it's in the theater. So if you can't find one of these movies and I haven't found where it's playing at, because there are a couple, look at that app. It'll tell you where everything is. It's even available on a website. So now, as we're going through these movies, we'll let you know if we'll be leaning towards reviewing them or not, because there's a lot that's coming out each week. But all I can say is, oh my, it's October and we're getting tons of slasher films, and I'm really excited about that. So there's a lot of good looking slasher films that we're getting. They're back, baby. Yes, they're back. Don't forget to
like, comments, share, and subscribe.
Do all that fun stuff. Hey, that's the treats for us. Now let's dive into October 1st on Tubi.
If you had to say what it was.
A dog standing up on hind legs and going across.
I didn't believe in werewolves, but this wasn't something I could deny.
Werewolves Unearthed. A recent rash of werewolf sightings in western Pennsylvania have grabbed the attention of documentarian Ward Heine. And in order to get the truth behind these ongoing encounters, he enlisted journalist and ardent skeptic Chad Christie in an effort to film their investigation, hoping to unravel the mysterious events unfolding in the Shenango Valley.
Now, this takes place in Pennsylvania. I've never heard of the Shenango Valley. I've heard of
Western Pennsylvania, so
you got some weird names out this way. You got Blue Balls, Pennsylvania.
Intercourse, yeah. Pennsylvania.
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of the Shenandoah Valley, but that doesn't mean there isn't a Shenango.
Now, this is shot documentary style. It looks like Blair Witch. So you have a team that's going out to investigate werewolf sightings. And along the way, they're recounting different stories of werewolves. So I don't know if we ever actually get to see what the actual werewolf looks like.
Yeah, I guess what they're doing is, I mean, you know how it goes, right? Everybody has a different story to tell, and their creatures never look exactly the same as anyone else's at all. I mean, watching these types of movies, you know, when they're looking for like, oh, what did you see? You know, if you ever watch the Mothman prophecies, right? Everyone always saw something different. So I'm guessing that like the wolves that they're showing is the depiction of what these people saw. So it's always something different. I mean, one even had like orange eyes. I've never heard of that. So
werewolf lovers will know that that is what's going to make or break your film. You have a shoddy looking werewolf, no matter how good the movie is, the movie instantly sucks because there's a horrible looking werewolf in it. You know, there's a reason why American Werewolf in London is the best werewolf movie of all time, followed by The Howling, and then you really start to not have that many after that. You know, you have Dog Soldiers is one of them, Silver Bullet, and then like, all right, can I go past 5? Not really.
Yeah, and the worst part is you're talking American Werewolf in London and The Howling, which came out in the early 80s, and they were able to pull it off?
Yeah. Well, what's going on? Oh, that's right. CGI doesn't always work, but sometimes practical effects doesn't work with werewolves either.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one. It's on Tubi, so it's an easy find.
Yeah, I like most of the documentary style movies that I've seen, so, and I did like the Blair Witch, so I'll give it a shot. I mean, and it is shot in the woods like Blair Witch was, so, and the woods creep me out, so, you know, I guess.
At this month's end, I will select a few of you to work on my spring collection. Believe in your own vision. Push through self-doubt.
Appendage. Anna, a young fashion designer, seems fine on the surface, but is secretly struggling with debilitating self-doubt. Soon, these buried feelings begin to make Hannah physically sick and sprout a ferocious growth on her body. Now, this is from the first-time director, Anna
Slokovic.
Yeah, no way I'm going to say that one, so... And it looks interesting. Not enough to say, yeah, this is something that I definitely want to catch this week.
The jury's still out for me on this one, and honestly, it's probably going to depend where we can find it to watch, because we don't have Hulu.
Oh, I'll find it.
That's what I'm saying. If we can find it somewhere. If not, I'm not going to go searching for it, because it doesn't look that interesting enough.
Even if we had Hulu, I'm thinking like, I don't know. It's kind of at the bottom of the list for these other films that are coming out this week. So let us know what you think. Is this something that's on your radar to watch? I think the fashion designer stuff, it kind of reminds me of other films that we've kind of seen before.
Like Last Night in Soho.
And Rabid.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it just doesn't pull me in the trailer.
No, it didn't pull me in at all. I kind of sat there like, that's how I felt.
Yep.
Trick or treat.
On October 3rd,
Jester. A malevolent being known as the Jester terrorizes the inhabitants of a small town on Halloween night, including two estranged sisters who must come together to find a way to defeat this evil entity. Why is it always a small town?
I don't know. It's better in a small town, I guess.
I guess so.
Now, this is a paranormal slasher. It looks interesting. I like the looks of the mask. I like the character, the way he approaches things. So I am hoping to find this somewhere. I did not see where it's going to be at. This Dread Central is promoting this pretty heavy, but they're not saying where it's going to be streaming at on its release.
Yeah, this is another one that the jury's still out for me. I feel like the Jester is heavily influenced by Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker, and I just feel like, I don't know, be your own person or your own clown or whatever.
Yeah, I got the Joker and the Art the Clown vibe a little bit from some of the mannerisms. So it'll be interesting to see. So hopefully we can find it. It is one that is on at least my list to watch this week. So I will look for it, but I won't go crazy looking for it. Now, Friday, October 6th, we are packed with movies that are coming out.
Who is that handsome dude?
That on?
Starting with Shudder's VHS 85, another film in the series. Before we dive into what it's about, now, VHS, that franchise, we kind of dip in and dip out along the way. Like the first two, didn't like the third one, didn't like the last one that came out. So we're in and out. We always give it a try. Now, this one does look a lot more interesting than the previous ones. So, unveiled through a made-for-TV documentary, 5 chilling tales emerge. Scientists observe an unusual boy fixated on his TV. Kids embark on a lake skiing adventure. A TV crew fights to survive a natural disaster. The early days of VR awaken something terrifying, and a deadly dream is captured on tape. This is stacked with some good directors, too. So we have David Bruckner, we have Scott Derrickson, we have Gigi Saul Guerrero, we have Natasha
Kermani.
Yeah, thank you. And Mike P. Nelson. I like what I saw in the trailer.
So I like what I saw in the trailer. I just think that the trailer was kind of a mess. So where it says that it's like 5 chilling tales, you really can't decipher in the trailer that it's 5 different tales. So I feel like it was too much of, it just made it look like it was one story that made absolutely no sense because it didn't go together. I mean, I'm going to check it out because, like he's mentioned, we've watched all the rest. We haven't liked a lot of them, or half of them really. So I'm going to watch it. It's on Shudder, so it's easy to find. I'm just hoping that Well, I know it'll be better than what the trailer shows. I just think the trailer could have been done a little better.
Kind of, the trailer does remind me of the original VHS movie, so I got some high hopes for this one.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too. And this one also, well, we talked about the 80s. This was 85. So we have a couple of things on this list that are actually in that decade for all you 80s lovers.
Yep. We've been watching a lot of 80s slasher films and movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one is coming out in theaters.
You need to leave!
Woman in the Maze. A young woman rents a house in America's largest ghost town, Jerome, Arizona, for a business trip. But she soon discovers that the house is cursed and traps any woman who enters it. The house transforms into a maze, making an escape impossible.
Almost reminds me of the Kevin Bacon movie that came out during the pandemic where the house looked a certain size on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And he kept finding rooms and passages on the inside.
Yeah. By the time he found everything, the house was like a huge mansion, and it definitely was not. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about this one.
I am the same way. The trailer looked okay. It has potential. If it comes out into the theaters, being that this is a stacked horror movie month on streaming, this may be one where I'm like, sure, I can go see it for free, but there's 5 other movies that came out this week that I want to see. So I would skip this possibly if it came out to one of our theaters.
And the thing is, it's probably going to go to Cinemark, where we're not going to see it for free. So I don't know that... I don't think it would make the list to see in the theaters. Not if I have to pay $10 a ticket.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in this trailer, and the one demon that we saw, the CGI didn't look so good. So right away, right there, it's like, I don't know. Maybe a dream sequence in that trailer, but it didn't look good.
Yeah, I think it might be a dream sequence myself. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it's what she actually saw. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. And I think also what they show in the trailer is that it seems like a lot of times you think she's awake, but she's actually dreaming. And then when you think she's dreaming, she's actually awake. And I don't know. It just looks like a big mess, honestly. So I definitely wouldn't see it in the theater if we got it.
This looks like one of those movies that's trying too hard to be something, and it's not going to pull it off. And then by the end, they're like, oh, well, that was an hour and a half that I lost of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes dead is better.
Next up is maybe the most anticipated movie on this list, if you've been following movies that have been in development for a while, and that is Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, coming to Paramount Plus. And this is about Judd. So in 1969, a young Judd Crandall dreams of leaving his hometown of Ludlow, Maine, behind, but soon discovers sinister secrets buried within. Judd is forced to confront a dark family history that will forever keep him connected to Ludlow. Now, Lindsay Anderson Beer directs this.
Yeah.
It looks okay.
It looks okay. Listen, I'm not super excited. I don't think there's a whole lot that needs to be done with Pet Cemetery. I like what I've seen already. They should just kind of leave it alone at this point. I mean, I don't know how I feel about getting the story behind Judd, besides the fact that we think, Judd was kind of corrupt and he was doing stuff.
Yeah.
And this kind of points to that, right? Or at least his family was. So I don't know.
Look, I'm going to say it right now. If Judd is behind this mess, they stole our idea. They stole our video that we released 2 years ago talking about how Judd was the man that was he's the harvester of souls for the evil spirits, and he was bringing new people to them. So
because if you think about it, now when they're showing this and they're like, oh, his dark family history is going to keep him forever connected to Ludlow. When we see the movie, he's still in Ludlow, Maine. He has not left. So I feel like he's carrying on the family business.
Yeah.
Because why else did he stay there? I could have found out my family secret and still left. Why do you have to stay unless you carry it on? I mean, it does have some names that you'll recognize as far as characters. It has Samantha Mathis, Pam Grier, and David Duchovny. Yeah. He's looking a little tired, but...
Well, I think he's supposed to in this.
I think so, too. And he is like, I think in his 60s now, or close to it.
Looks good for his 60s.
No, he does look good. He's, But I think he's meant to look tired. I think there's a reason behind that. So
yeah, I think they've been trying really hard to recapture the magic from the original Pet Sematary. Like the remake was okay, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Now the first one wasn't perfect either. You know, some of the acting was a little stiff, but it's just it hits you in a way that no other film has been able to hit you, especially with a truck. Film that we're probably both most excited about comes out on Amazon Prime, and that is Totally Killer.
35 years after the shocking murders of 3 teens, an infamous killer returns on Halloween night to claim a 4th victim. When 17-year-old Jamie comes face to face with the masked maniac, she accidentally time travels back to 1987. Forced to navigate the unfamiliar culture, Jamie teams up with her teenage mother to take down the psycho once and for all.
Jesus, Mom. Mamacita. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mamacita.
In this movie, we have Julie Bowen, who most would probably know her, I think, the most for Modern Family. And then you have Olivia Holtz and Liana Liberato, who was just in the new Scream. And it also has Randall Park.
This looks like a mix of Happy Death Day with The Final Girls. Looks like a fun movie. I'm really excited for this. Once I saw the trailer, when I saw the poster, everything pops to me for this. So right now it looks like Prime is hitting a home run with this one. This may be the best one of the entire month.
Come on out. The water's warm.
Just so you know,
I don't do blowjobs. You pee out of that thing.
Just think, maybe if she did do blowjobs, she'd still be alive.
Yeah, let's not make that the lesson.
This looks like it's going to be a great slasher film. So, you know, this, Jester, oh boy. And then next week we got a good slasher too coming out.
This is the one on the list that I'm most excited for. I mean, obviously it's the 80s, and I do like the whole... I mean, I know it's been done before, right? Like, they've gone to the past, and some of them even do team up with their parents or whatever. I mean, they've been doing it actually since the 80s, right? When Marty McFly went to the prom with his mother, so... but this one I'm most excited for. I just think that it looks like it's going to be a fun time.
Next two are a little trippy. Little mind F's, if you want to say that. So the first one is going to be a limited release. So I don't know if we'll see it streaming this month at all, but a limited release may mean that it's only showing for one day this week. And that is The Woods Are Real. Boba and Quincy are a wealthy Brooklyn couple who value charity above all. But when a friend returns from a country pilgrimage to challenge their bleeding hearts, they accept an invitation that will change their lives forever. This one seems to be a little bit all over the place. Seems to be like an artsy type horror movie where it's going to be like a slow psychological burn. And then maybe at the end they get you.
Yeah, I don't know. And I do like psychological thrillers. I like a movie. I like when, like, it's the scary movie that makes you think. I don't know that this can live up to an actual, like, psychological thriller or psychological horror. I'm not sure that it can, because it does look like it's a little bit of a mess. So, I mean, it's very limited. So maybe if we catch it, we'll give it a shot. You know, I'll pretty much give it like a half an hour typically, and if something doesn't happen, then he'll fall asleep and I'll be like, I'm done.
Yeah,
So,
if it's boring, I'm out.
yeah,
Definitely.
he's out within usually before the half an hour, and then I'll give it like to the 30-minute mark, and I'll wake him up and be like, it's a half an hour you slept. Let's just turn it off. So I have a feeling this might be that.
Yeah, and then the next one.
It's Aberrance. When city dwellers Urkmi and Selenge arrive at an old cabin deep in the Mongolian wilds, a foreboding settles over the couple. Urkmi's seemingly keen desire to provide a safe and nurturing space for his artistic wife is at odds with the violent actions and mannerisms that their quizzical neighbor observes.
This has got a lot of flashing colors, so if you have epilepsy, this is probably going to screw with you. because that's what it was kind of doing in the trailer. And
or migraines. If you suffer from migraines, it might not be a great idea.
I have no idea what is going on in this film from the trailer.
I don't have a clue. I see them run into the woods a couple of times, and then that's where you get like the flash of like orange and other bright colors. I don't know what the movie is actually about.
Now, with these last two movies, I think they're drinking movies.
I think so too.
Like, yeah, you know, get your rum and coke or whiskey or something like that.
Whatever your drink of choice, it will probably make these movies a little more fun.
Yeah, a little bit more trippy.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Trippy.
Especially this last one. So, don't know where it's streaming at. I know it does come out on Friday the 6th with a few other films. If you look at the films that are coming out on the 6th, this is maybe almost towards the bottom. So,
I think this one's the bottom. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I need to see more. And
yeah.
I don't like to do a lot of digging into movies because then sometimes you get too much information because people will talk too much about what the film is. Or you'll have a director like with Saw X who tells you that what the after credit scene is. Why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So when we were doing the Scream News often, that's something that would happen too. So I would try to get you the Scream News, and then you see a picture, it's like, oh, God, I saw somebody in a body bag. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
and you try not to look for too many trailers too, because some trailers literally show you the entire movie. And we've seen that happen with big budget films that we've seen in the theater. And it's like, they just literally showed us the entire movie.
Yeah, I try not to pay attention to trailers that often, but just because of that reason. And then when doing our reviews and I'm taking apart the trailers for the reviews, then it's like, oh, the whole movie's in this.
Yeah.
Wow. If you really would have paid attention, you would have not have to spend the money to go see it.
Yeah. No. I mean, luckily we're seeing them for free, so I guess that helps. But I don't really want to know the whole movie before I go in to see it. The only time I want that to happen is when they're bringing back a movie for an anniversary and I've already seen it a million times. That's different. I'm just wanting to see it on the big screen.
So it is the first of the month if you're watching this on the day of its release. If not, then it's not the first of the month. It is the 31 days of Halloween, so we're kicking off the month. We'll have something different from the previous 2 years. So we're not going to be reviewing the older films as recommendations. We're going to be reviewing the movies that are coming out each week, as many as we can. But we'll also have some interviews going on in between it. We'll have some fun list shows. The Pop 5 will have some interesting things, so check that out as well. And thank you for tuning in and watching this and watching our other content. We appreciate it.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. We'll see you on a review or the next week's episode of What's Streaming This Week. Bye.